Hello, and welcome to our Rose Petals All-Stars versus Tomorrowland Nanobots Junior Roller Derby game. I am Rosemary's Baby, and I'm here with...
And I'm Pop Tart, part of the regional travel team.
We're going to go ahead and get started with reading these rosters so you know who is playing out there on the track today.
So today with the Rose City Rollers Rose Petals All-Stars, we have 100 Bob the Fred, 132 the Kraken, 15 Princess Leia, 153 Candy Pane, 16 Beatrix Slaughter, 17 Scarburst, 213 Patsy U, 27 Sour Patch Skid, 299 our Captain Rotten Mango, 31 False Glitch, 36 Piranha Pixie, 360 Yellow Jacket, 423 Leonard Skinner, 777 Screaming Death, 789 All Ice, 81 Pom Pom Fury, 814 Lucille Boral, 911 Demon Skater, and 971, I don't know how to say that one.
Satoru Gojo.
There you go.
And for our Tomorrowland Nanobots, we have 018 Madmo, 113 Jawbreaker, 144 Axolotl, 17 Orbs, 253 Fang, 360 Hex, 422 Pop Rocks, 47 Harshmellow, number 6 Tin Lizzie, 606 Bitter Bunny, 706 Glitch, 72 our Captain Lunatrix, 805 Count Blockula, 9 Jax, 313 Toucan Slam, and 76 Cherry Jam. We got a lot of food-themed names today.
I know, food-themed names are the best ones.
I mean, you would know.
Yes.
And we have a lot of common names, some common names on our rosters today.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're just finishing up with our gear checks, and we will be going in just a moment. Looks like our officials today, we have Llama Croft, Devil May Care, I Took a Mint, Jack, Doesn't Matter, Mortal Kombat, Mother Flippin' Artist, Crying Wolf, Ghost H, Doof Warrior, Arson Crafts, Mega Marvin, Skate Nicholas, Andy Oakley, Shaolin Spocker, Force Smusher, Lil T Rubble, and Dillygaff. So there are all of our rosters for today.
We have a great mix of officials today, some from here and some from some of the other teams that came up this weekend in Bridge City Riot.
Yeah, so this is our second game of today during Bridge City Riot. I think this is our only modified contact game of the weekend.
Yeah, this is the only Petals game we have for this weekend. The rest are full contact Buds level games.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a good one. I know that these teams have played before. I think it was a good game last time, if I remember correctly, so it's going to be a good game today. Yeah, these gear checks, they're taking time.
Taking their time.
I guess it's our job to fill that space.
Yeah. Want to sponsor RCR in 2025? Interested in sponsoring? You have our mission aligned brand. I cannot read this. It's too small.
You have our Mission Aligned brand integrated into our vibrant community of skaters, fans, and volunteers. The opportunities are truly endless. Go to www.rosecityrollers.com/our sponsors or email out to sponsorship@rosecityrollers.com to learn more.
And here we go. We're starting up on the first jam.
Here's our first lineup. It looks like on the track for the Nanobots, we have 47 Harshmellow as the jammer. And for Rose Petals All-Stars, we have number 15, Princess Leia.
And there's the beginning whistle.
Here we are. We have got these two tripods out on our starting line.
And here we go. And there's number 15, Princess Leia, coming in as lead jammer and finishing up their initial pass.
You have the Rose Petals in the front with a tripod. Ooh, and there is Princess Leia moving through on the outside. Number 4-7 out on their initial pass.
But Leia not too far behind, and there's the call off with their 4 points, not letting the nanobots get nothing.
Smart play. Just get those points and call it.
And here comes in number 100 on the Rose Petals. This is Bob the Fred.
And for the nanobots, we have number 72, Lunatrix. That is their captain.
Looks like we have 2 tripods setting up, and there is Leonard Skinner setting up for offense on the inside.
And we have, looks like, Bitter Bunny for offense on that Rose Petals tripod.
And there goes Bob the Fred getting lead jammer.
We've got Leonard Skinner with that catch at the top. Leonard Skinner and Yellow Jacket with that hit out.
Number 76 going to the box with a direction penalty. That is Cherry Jam.
Sitting in that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box. Bob the Fred, ooh, on that inside. Quick 4 points. Yellow Jacket with another hit out on that outside line, reforming in the back with their wall. That is Piranha Pixie and the Kraken.
Leonard, and Yellow Jacket.
Another hit out to that inside, and there's Bob the Fred to the out. Bumping into, looks like 606, Bitter Bunny, before making another 4 points.
Looks like Piranha Pixie and Leonard Skinner holding Nanobots' jammer in the back.
Yeah, that is Lunatrix with the hat off, looking for that Star Pass. And there we go, Star Pass to 606, Bitter Bunny. And number 72, Lunatrix with a cut in that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box.
Bob with the easy round about the outside and taking the call off.
And it looks like the pivot turns jammer 606 is going to the penalty box with a cut track penalty.
So this next jam coming up, we have Lucille Brawl starting in a power jam.
Buffalo Gap Saloon and Eatery, John Landing's favorite eatery and saloon. So we have number 814, which is Lucille Brawl in that power jam.
And out they go, getting containing lead jammer.
Now,
and there goes number 971, Gojo, with a direction.
And we have offense being played, fast-moving pack here, moving forward. And it looks like Lucille Brawl is going to make quick work of this, bumping into 360 Hex before scoring another 4 points.
And up at the top, we have the Nanobots tripod with our Rose Petals in the back.
And 606, Bitter Bunny is returning to the track as a jammer on their initial pass.
Nanobots 7-2, that looks like their captain, Lunatrix, playing offense, getting their captain right out.
It looks like Lucille Brawl's caught up on that Nanobots tripod and then breaks free.
And there's the call-off finishing Jam 3 for us tonight.
8 points.
And here comes Candy Pane onto the line.
Porque No Taqueria. Porque No is the sunniest place in Portland. Voted the best tacos and Mexican food in PDX. Got a little bit of dancing on the jam line as people are lining up for this next jam.
We always love the dancing.
We've got 1-7 orbs for the Nanobots, and looks like, and it's Candy Pane for the Rose Petals. Also,
and there is the first lead jammer for the Nanobots today during this game. Candy Pane just now getting out and actually getting a high block and going straight to the box.
So now we have a power jam for the Nanobots, and ooh, easy work for orbs on that inside line, just skating on through, scoring 4 points. The first 4 points of this game for the Nanobots.
Glad they're getting up there.
So we have a little bit of offense played on the inside. It looks like
number 313 Toucan Slam, making the first initial and guiding their wall to finish it up.
And another 4 points for Orbs. We have the Candy Pane standing in the box.
And she's out. Big hit.
Quick 4 points for Orbs, just skating on that inside line. Looks like Candy's getting caught up and completing that initial pass for the Rose Petals All-Stars.
But here comes Orbs, trying to get them more points.
Getting caught up by Screaming Death before scoring another 4 points.
And calling it off, but Candy Pane catches 3 more points before the call off.
Ritual Dyes, Portland's local yarn shop with hand-dyed yarn, tools, and more. Owned by a Bud's parent and Wrecker skater.
Yeah, I get the lucky to skate with Mazzy on regional travel team.
Yeah, and good yarn. Good yarn from that place. Looks like we have number 72, Lunatrix for the Nanobots, and
3-1 false glitch for the Rose Petals, and that is an illegal contact hitting penalty on false glitch.
That is a power jam for the Nanobots.
Once again.
Yellow Jacket catching up the Nanobots jammer and making hold, but getting a forearm penalty for that movement. Now that Nanobots jammer stuck on, who is that?
Number 27 for,
yeah.
That is Sour Patch Skid holding them very well.
Very well.
And right onto Mango. Oh.
A lot of falls in that far straightaway, moving into turn 3.
But there goes back. Ooh, Sour Patch Skid barely missing it, but at least they went for it.
Lunatrix with lead for the Nanobots.
We have False Glitch and Yellow Jacket standing in the box now, and there goes False Glitch coming back onto the track, hoping to score some points. Sour Patch Skid getting a multiplayer while blocking their jammer.
Looks like they're headed to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box to sit for 30 seconds, and False Glitch out on their initial pass.
There's Yellow Jacket holding on to Lunatrix and end of the jam.
That is 3 points for the Nanobots and 0 for the Rose Petals All-Stars.
Looks like we have number 018 for the Nanobots. That is Mad Mo. And then we have number 13 for the Petals, Patsy U.
2-1-3 for the Petals, Patsy U.
Oh, I
think that 2 is on the other side of the arm.
Oh, that's fun.
Taking off from that Jam on Hawthorne jam line.
And Patsy U gets out, but that is not a problem for Mad Mo right behind her. Ooh, and Mad Mo passes them with ease.
2 tripods up in the turn 2, moving into turn 2, and both jammers make quick work.
And Patsy U is out, but so is Mad Mo. Looks like this is going to be a very fast-paced jam.
And it looks like the Nanobots did not field 4 blockers, so they now have 3 and will continue to have 3 blockers, while the 4th Rose Petals blocker has returned from the box.
And Patsy U calls it off, getting all 4 points, while the Nanobots got 3.
So that is a total of 8 for the Rose Petals and 7 for the Nanobots.
Very close, very close.
Black Hat Plumbing, your local neighborhood plumbing company, and a proud sponsor of RCR since forever.
So we have number 17 for the Nanobots lining up.
That is Orbs. That is our high point scorer for the Nanobots.
And then
1-6, Beatrix Slaughter on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line.
We got the tripod for Purple in the back with their jammer, and the tripod up front with the Nanobots holding Beatrix.
But that is Orbs out first with lead, and Beatrix about a quarter of a lap behind.
Nanobots trying to take front so they can get one and call it.
That is the Nanobots scoring, but Rose Petals are also scoring some big hits and some falls on that entering turn 4. And that is Beatrix Slaughter through with 4 before the call-off.
They both got 4 points on that lap, so that will be a 4-4 jam.
Even Stevens. All right. Do you love our sponsors? Tag them on social media with hashtag RCR sponsor.
So it looks like we have number 360 Yellow Jacket on the line and number 606 for the Nanobots. That is Bitter Bunny.
Now, Bitter Bunny took a cat pass earlier in the game and is now jamming, getting out quickly with lead, but Yellow Jacket is making fast way behind, catching up very quickly, and both of them entering the pack now.
And Yellow Jacket just making through at quite ease.
You know, moving quickly, and that is both jammers through with 4 points. Nanobots are lead, but they are choosing to continue on with this jam, letting Rose Petals continue to score.
Yep, Yellow Jacket is a very fast jammer, as we've seen through home team season and past games with the Petals All-Stars.
And we can see today they caught up quite quickly with the other jammer. Moving quickly, again, easy 4 points. Barely touched anyone on that pass. And then we have our 606 Bitter Bunny. Also a quick 4 points, just a little bump on Candy Pane before moving all the way through.
And it looks like their captain, number 72 for the Nanobots, Lunatrix, went to the box with a direction penalty.
Let's look at that replay. And just sliding backwards on the toe stops while a little side surf from Yellow Jacket squeezes right through on that Radical Wheels game replay.
She did not get touched at all.
Then 018 for the Nanobots, Mad Mo on the jam line.
And 27 out there for our Rose Petals.
Sour Patch Skids. Sour with lead, but being quickly surpassed by Mad Mo.
And calling it off for a 0-0 jam.
Smart decision. That's what I would do. I don't want to let them score, especially in a game this tight that is 59-42. Rose Petals All-Stars in the lead. That is one jam worth of points, as we can see. We've had 12-point jams today.
Yes.
It could go pretty quick.
So this looks like 9-7-1 Gojo out there jamming against
47 Harshmellow.
I actually know Harshmellow's older siblings very close. They're very close friends of mine.
Well, Harshmellow, with those harsh moves and out lead, while Gojo is getting caught up in the back by, who is that?
Toucan Slam.
Toucan Slam with that blocking. Just all over the place today.
And it also looks like Count Blockula is also out there holding our jammer tight back.
Harshmellow making quick work of that outside line, just sprinting right up it. And that is Gojo out on their initial pass. We have both teams moving into turn 4, and that is Harshmellow moving quickly, bumping into Bob the Fred before making a call off.
And Leonard Skinner trying to go for it, but not ending up on the floor.
And that call-off was not quick enough. That is 8 points for the Nanobots and 2 points for the Rose Petals All-Stars. So a little bit of a steal right there at the end.
Little confusion about who is going out. We had 2 jammers for Rose Petals for a second there, but it looks like we have Demon Skater out there as jammer.
And 606 Bitter Bunny for the Nanobots on the Jam on Hawthorne jam line. Now, for the stream, Demon Skater is my niece, and I am really excited to be here announcing her on the stream today. So let's see if she can make work of this Nanobots wall. Looks like Cherry Jam all over her, but Cherry Jam going to the box with a direction. That's Bitter Bunny up at the front of the pack, getting caught up by Lucille Brawl, but that is Demon Skater with a lead jammer.
I remember being a counselor when Demon Skater first came to summer camp. That's how I feel with a bunch of these skaters, because a lot of these skaters were my kids during home team season, as I am a coach for SOD.
And that is Demon Skater in the pack and calling it off.
After getting all 4 of their points, but that is not soon enough because the Nanobots did steal 1 point.
Some good work here by the Rose Petals, and we are 65-51. So that is only a 14-point difference. That is a one jam difference.
We have Scarburst on the line, number 17, and 018 Mad Mo on the line.
on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line. And we have, Nanobots starting down with one in the box, but their jammer is quick in the front. Scarburst did squeeze out lead before being surpassed by the Nanobots jammer.
And we have our Petals tripod in the back with Nanobots in the front. Looks like Piranha Pixie, Pom Pom Fury, and Yellow Jacket holding on, but not for too long.
Both jammers out and making their laps.
Mo passing Scarburst once again. We can hear the communication of both walls as Scarburst calls it off, getting 0. It was a 0-0 jam.
0-0 pass, and that's 4 for each on that jam. So same point differential between the teams. Oh, wait, we have a correction. That is an extra additional point for the Nanobots, so that is a 4-5 jam. Nanobots with a net 1 on that.
Looks like we're back with False Glitch on the line and Harshmellow
on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line. These two, Harshmellow had a really great jam last time. Let's see if they can be caught up. But
Toucan Slam up at the top, trying to catch False Glitch, but False Glitch gets around and out. Harshmellow about halfway behind is still trying to get up in time.
And Rotten Mango heading to that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box on, let's see, looks like a direction of gameplay. Is that not what
it's a cut?
Oh, it's an illegal contact penalty. See, I'm so used to looking at the penalty box codes that I forgot what I'm even supposed to be calling. It looks like a 4-2 jam with the Nanobots eking out that 4.
It just changed to an illegal position.
So, a little confusion about what Rotten Mango's penalty is. Looks like, it's a toss-up. On that Radical Wheels replay, we have False Glitch popping out to the top of the track, getting lead, but getting a little bump from
Toucan Slam. Right now we have Leonard Skinner against number 606, once again, Bitter Bunny.
A little confusion on the jam line as to whether or not that was the starting whistle.
And a little fall, both the jammers ending up on the floor, but Bob was not ready to let Bitter Bunny out, but there goes Bitter Bunny with lead jammer.
And Leonard Skinner is right behind, Rotten Mango being released from the penalty box, and a little bit of offense being played by number 72, Lunatrix.
And they are calling it off.
And it looks like they have all 4 points, but not before the Rose Petals scored an additional 1 point.
Very much conserving their points, making sure that opposite teams does not get as many points.
Roller Rally, our junior program fundraiser, is underway. Support the future of roller derby by donating at rosecityrollers.com/rollerrally. And on that jam line, it looks like we have Lucille Brawl for the Rose Petals and 018 Madmo for the Nanobots.
Lucille Brawl getting right through, barely touching anyone and capturing lead.
Looks like the teamwork of Yellow Jacket and Candy Pane slowing down Madmo, Beatrix joining that group. The 3 of them using that chest blocking, that backwards blocking to kind of hold up Madmo while Lucille Brawl makes quick work of that inside line.
Patsy Yu joining the blocking team over here as they hold back Madmo from going on to their initial.
And it looks like that Rose Petals wall is clumping up in the beginning of turn 3, while Lucille Brawl is picking up a illegal contact penalty on that back Nanobots tripod sitting in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box.
Madmo getting out on their initial and getting a power jam. This will also be a full 2-minute jam since our lead jammer is in the box.
So we have about a minute left of this jam. Ooh, and a little hop for Madmo as they exit the pack, scoring 4 points. Currently a 4-4 on the jam. That Rose Petals tripod is popping up to the front of the group of the pack,
and Lucille is back on, getting right through the pack very easily.
And we've got Candy Payne and Patsy Yu and Beatrix Slaughter and Yellow Jacket. That wall of Rose Petals just making Madmo's life a little bit difficult.
And there goes Mad Mo going to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box with a forearm penalty.
So now we have a reversal of roles with Lucille Brawl getting that power jam, and with Madmo sitting with only 18 seconds left in the jam, this will finish out the jam with a power jam and start the next one with a power start. And there's Lucille Brawl with another 4 points.
Lucille making jamming look so easy out there.
16 points on the jam. That is hard work, and that's where we end the jam. So that is 4 points for the Nanobots and 16 for the Rose Petals All-Stars. Waiting for points, any remaining points on the Nanobots. That is going to be another 4 for the Nanobots, bringing them to 8 on that jam. So it's 88 points for the All-Stars, the Rose Petals All-Stars, and 72 for the Nanobots.
Scarburst returns to the line, getting all ready for their power jam.
That is a power jam on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line for Scarburst. Both walls starting way up at the front of the starting box on that pivot line. And looks like is that direction penalty on Screaming Death.
The Nanobots not letting this powerless jam go to mess them up, because now Mad Mo is returning onto the track.
So a lot of movement up into that far straightaway, and we have that tripod coming up against Mad Mo. That's Demon Skater and Pom Pom Fury, and looks like
Piranha Pixie
Piranha
and
Pixie.
Mad Mo straight out of the box gets lead for this next jam.
Scarburst stuck on that wall in the back, stuck on, looks like Toucan Slam, 805, Count Blockula, number 17 Orbs, and then we've got Harshmallow in that back. So, you know, some jammers who have been making some work are also putting in the work blocking today.
And here comes Screaming Death returning from the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, getting ready to block Mad Mo.
Mad Mo making work up that inside line and moving through the front to score another 4 points, bringing it to an 8 total on the jam. And we have a penalty for Harshmallow heading to the penalty box. No pack called, and that rush forward of those skaters, Scarburst in the back. This jam is really tightening up the score as Mad Mo is making good work of the walls, and
Piranha Pixie holding them in the back for a very long time, just for them to get around and caught by Demon Skater, but that will not stop Mad Mo from getting out. And
Orbs with a hit out on Scarburst and a quick drag back, while the Rose Petals All-Stars wall is forming in the front. And we have Mad Mo making quick work of that outside line, just running up it. And then we get that call off.
we are at a tied score.
So we have 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in the half, and we are 88 points to 88 points, a tie score. Wow, this game is really good. And we're looking at that Radical Wheels replay, and that's that replay of Demon Skater catching Mad Mo up at the top, but then making it through pretty quickly to score more points.
Mad Mo holding on, making that score back to a tied score.
And we have a quick official timeout. There seems to be a late penalty on Scarburst. Let's see. The penalty is not up on the board yet, so couldn't tell you why Scarburst is in the box, but we have that official timeout coming to an end.
But is giving the Tomorrowland Nanobots a power start as our Petals tripod is setting up. Nanobots are getting ready to play offense.
So that's Lunatrix for the Nanobots, getting caught up by False Glitch, who is making really quick work of that blocking, but looks like they're picking up a direction of play penalty. And that's Lunatrix getting a little block from Skids and Rotten Mango and getting lead jammer.
We have our Petals tripod of Sour Patch Skid, Rotten Mango, and Kraken ready to block as the jammer comes back.
And that's Scarburst released from the box, moving quickly around the track. And that is 4 points for Lunatrix, making work of that inside line.
Looks like False Glitch is just now standing.
And Lunatrix through on the inside line again, making really fast work of that inside line.
And
Now-
False Glitch has returned to their wall, trying to help their jammer, but pulling another direction penalty.
And that inside line, I feel like today I've been saying a lot, jammers making quick work of that inside line. It seems to be just the place to be today.
I know.
And that is 12 points for the Nanobots, bringing them into the lead with 100 points, with Rose Petals All-Stars still at 88. And we're looking at that Radical Wheels replay, and that is going to be of our jammer Lunatrix jumping up to the front and getting lead jammer.
Looks like we finally hit triple digits for this game with only 4 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock.
And we have Mad Mo for the Nanobots and Princess Leia for the Rose Petals All-Stars.
And Leia right out, not even getting touched.
And a little bit of a stoppage from Yellow Jacket and Gojo, but Mad Mo is out of the pack.
Offense getting played by Yellow Jacket to try to help Leia get through this pack easily. But coming back to defense to block Mad Mo, and with a strong hit out by Yellow Jacket.
And that is 4 points for Princess Leia. Looks like they're going to, Rose Petals All-Stars are going to keep this jam going, trying to make up some of that differential.
But Mad Mo ain't going to let that happen.
And now we've got Rose Petals making some offense and trying to clear a path for Leia. Leia moves to the outside and gets bumped out by 360 Hex, who drags them back. Some calls from the bench and 3 points on that pass for Rose Petal All-Stars, bringing that total for the jam to 7, with 4 for the Nanobots.
Looks like we have Candy Payne rolling up to
that Jam on Hawthorne jam line, and it looks like it's Harshmellow
once again
on the track. Got a coach who's doing a little bit of explanation on what they're supposed to be doing. I was not aware that turn coaches could jump onto the track like that. I'm going to be honest.
Me neither.
If I was a coach, I would be complaining about that. I'm going to be real, but we got Candy Payne, who is lead jammer, out on the track, and we have Harshmellow about a half a lap behind.
There's a little jump to get up on out. Candy Payne back onto the pack with a force out by Toucan Slam and drawing them back. Harshmellow back to the pack.
And Harshmellow now on a scoring pass, a little slip out, banana peel on that turn 1.
And Candy Payne calling it off with a little slip, almost falling, but finishes off the jam with a 4-2 jam.
So, Rose Petals All-Stars making up those points a little slowly after that big jam that the Nanobots had earlier. Nanobots have had big jam after big jam after big jam, trying to make up some of that differential. And it looks like Rose Petals are now chipping away. On that Jam on Hawthorne jam line, we have number 72, Lunatrix, for the Nanobots, and number 314, Lucille Brawl, for the Rose Petals All-Stars.
Offense by number 6 from the Nanobots, trying to help their jammer get out as fast as possible. But that is Tin Lizzie.
But we have Lucille Brawl out with lead for the Rose Petals, Lunatrix about a lap behind. Lucille Brawl entering the pack again, a bump out from Cherry Jam. And it looks like we have Sour Patch Kids to the penalty box. Looks like it is a multiplayer. Letting Lunatrix score. Rose Petals decide to keep this jam going. Lucille Brawl moved to the outside line. And then cutting right back to the inside line. It's been open all game. It's going to continue to be open all game. As Lunatrix comes in on their another scoring pass. And
beautiful a direction getting called on that offensive player, Tin Lizzie.
But that is almost close to an apex jump. Little hops here and there.
And finishing off the jam, calling it, making it even closer. That is a 12-12 jam.
12-12 jam, and we had a Nanobot skater heading to the penalty box, and then also a Rose Petals All-Star skater screaming death with a low block. That Radical Wheels replay is that jam start where Lucille Brawl pops to the front and gets that lead. All right.
And we're back where we have Yellow Jacket on the line against Mad Mo once again.
Mad Mo has been absolutely phenomenal this game, and even when put into, maybe a not lead position or a penalty position, still is great jammer, has been working really hard.
Yellow Jacket already out on their scoring pass. Madmo running for it. False glitch going
the top,
up.
and that out of play is called, and
they let them go.
We have both blockers in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box standing while Yellow Jacket is on another scoring pass.
And they both get out.
And we have that both both blockers cleared from the box, but that is a 7-point jam for the Rose Petals All-Stars in Yellow Jacket, and a 0 for the Nanobots as we head into intermission. Now, let's just all of the skaters heading back to the penalty box, or not the penalty box, heading back to their benches. This game is a tight game, a 4-point game. A 4-point game is one jam. That's like one scoring pass.
Exactly.
This has been, wow, a fire of a game, moving very quickly through that first half. Just want to mention, Roller Rally, our annual junior program fundraiser, kicks off today. We need your help hitting our goal. Our junior program includes almost 200 youth skaters ages 7 to 17 who are some of the strongest, most talented youth athletes in PDX. Help us keep Youth Roller Derby accessible and support Roller Rally today by texting ROLLER 25 to 44321 or visiting rosecityrollers.com/roller rally. We really appreciate your support. As a junior roller derby coach, I really appreciate all the support that people give. And Pop-Tart, I assume, as a junior roller derby skater, that you also appreciate being able to keep continuing playing the sport.
Yeah, both of us have been here at Rose City Rollers for a very long time. I remember when I was a little pedal at around this age, I remember staying and being able to watch you as a bud.
Yeah. It seems like a long time ago, but I was a junior skater.
I know, you were a jammer sometimes too, which is a big surprise.
Wild to think. Let's just take a look at, I wish I had the numbers in front of me for these jammers, but we have seen Mad Mo making quick work of the pack for the Nanobots, scoring a lot of points, having a lot of really great jams.
Same with Orbs.
We've seen Orbs. We've seen Lunatrix. These are the jammers who are really... Harshmellow had a pretty big jam a few jams ago.
Same with Bitter Bunny, who has been
kind of dual jamming and blocking, taking that pivot, taking those star passes. And then we've got a smattering of jammers from the Rose Petals All-Stars. There's been a few repeats, but mostly a different jammer every time. So those points are kind of spread out between all of them, but we've seen Lucille Brawl quite a few times on the track.
And Princess Leia
Leia, both getting some high-scoring jams. So,
Yeah, a bunch of these kids on the Petals All-Stars, it was very hard for me to figure out who should jam next because a lot of them were on SOD this last home team season.
A lot of great jammers. It's good to build a team that is versatile and has a lot of big, can make those big moves, can make those big differences, All right, and we're going to see you
when we come back.
Hey folks, did you know that your head is not normal? No one's is. If your helmet size is a small, but your teammate's size is an extra large, wearing the same helmet shell doesn't just look kind of funny. The functionality of the EPS foam and how it disperses impact energy is compromised. The 888 certified sweat saver comes in better shell size options than our leading competitor, giving you the highest level of protection upon impact. Try it for yourself. We got you.
And welcome back. We have a minute till we start Derby again. They are lining up at the lines for gear checks.
And while we're here, I just want to mention 187 killer pads. Often intimidated, never duplicated. Stick with the best. That is what I wear. You know, that is what a lot of people wear. 187 killer pads and 888 as gear sponsors of the league. Really awesome gear, really high quality. That's what keeps us safe. And look at those rosters. You know, really close game. And there are those penalty reads. So, you know, the person with the most penalties currently is False Glitch, but 3 is kind of no sweat. I feel like 3 is trying to figure out the game. 2 and 1 Jam, really trying to figure out how to play, going really hard. And everyone else just kind of has a smattering across all the other people. Nanobots with really low penalty count.
This is a really low penalty count overall for a game.
Yeah, I feel like if you watch other games, and mind you, you know, over the weekend there's been some games with a lot more penalties than others. You know, even our adult home team games that have happened over the course of this weekend, lots and lots of penalties. So it's nice to see them on the track, playing safely, playing, you know, with that patience, with that precision, things like that. You know, it's been a good game so far. I'm hoping to see some exciting jams in the second half.
I want to see some Apex jumps over here.
Yeah, you know,
Get to see our Zoom room sponsor for our Apex jumps.
we haven't had one yet.
I know.
I want to see something cool. I want to see one of these kids do a backflip. That's actually what I want out of this game.
I don't think we're gonna get that. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
They weren't going yet. No.
It happens every single time with the Petals. You know, they give that end of halftime whistle, and then they all start going as if the jam is starting.
They just want to hear a whistle.
They're
They
just
just
excited.
know whistle mean go.
They're ready to go. We have 1-6 Beatrix Slaughter for the Rose Petals and 1-7 Orbs for the Nanobots.
Oh, they're only one number apart from each other, 16 and 17.
And we have Beatrix Slaughter bumping into that is 313 Toucan Slam.
But catching a cut track on it.
Yep. And
After she fell, she put both of her skates out of bounds and just got right back up.
And that is a power jam for Orbs, who is picking up the lead jammer instead of Beatrix Slaughter. And we have another Nanobot skater headed to the penalty box. That is 805 Count Blockula with a direction of play penalty. And
Orbs getting out simply with their offense from, I believe that is, I cannot see their number.
it is like Toucan Slam, 442 Pop Rocks, and Harshmellow making quick offense for Orbs on that last pass.
Orbs
Kind of getting a little bit of a bump from Patsy Yu, and then a catch from Gojo. And
but their back
Pixie?
foot went out with that hit from Patsy, and they find themselves heading to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box with a cut track.
So we have about a minute left. We're going to finish out the whole remaining 52 seconds of this jam with Beatrix Slaughter now on a power jam. Gojo and Piranha Pixie trying to pick off a little bit of offense. That is Patsy Yu trying to go one-on-one with Harshmellow, and Toucan Slam with that bump out and that drag back. Nanobots doing a good job of avoiding that offense and really rushing to the front of the pack. Beatrix pushing on Toucan Slam.
Toucan holding on with Harshmellow, and 805, that is Count Blockula, but that won't stop Beatrix from going out and collecting their 4 points. Looks like Orbs is re-entering the track and going, but
Quickly to the
Gojo
outside.
still getting them, but not being able to stay upright.
Piranha
Ooh.
Pixie with that like hold and that bump. And then it looks like Gojo might have picked up a penalty at the tail end of that.
Looks like
with
a
that
low
bump.
block. Low
Yeah.
block penalty by called by Little T Rebel, one of our many junior officials we have here at Rose City Rollers.
And we have Sasquatch HR, making nonprofit and small business workplaces better. SasquatchHR.org. That 8-8 jam just kind of tied everything up, and we have Bob the Fred trying to make a difference, skating against Lunatrix for the Nanobots.
Bob taking a big hit and ending with a fall, going all the way back to get some speed.
And that is Mango and Yellow Jacket and Demon Skater trying to block up Lunatrix, with Yellow Jacket picking up a forearm for that block.
Lunatrix heading up to the front. Demon Skater not letting that happen. They catch lead, but Bob is running, making it past them.
Yeah, Bob is out in front by about half a lap, but Lunatrix is going to end that jam. Lunatrix doesn't want anyone else to score, doesn't want this score to get any tighter. We are at 126 Rose Petals All-Stars, 122 Tomorrowland Nanobots.
That is one pass, and here we are with our Radical Wheels replay of Demon Skater just full-on going for the hit onto Lunatrix.
So we're starting with Rose Petals with 1 in that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, but with Candy Pain as our jammer and Mad Mo as our jammer for the Nanobots.
Mad Mo is coming out a lot as a jammer. Candy Pain out very quickly and easily.
Lucille Brawl and Leonard Skinner getting a little bit of blocking, a little bit of a bump from Screaming Death, but that is Mad Mo out about a half a lap behind Candy Pain.
We have the Petals tripod up at the top, but the Nanobots tending to break up, letting Candy Pain get out and calling it off.
Candy Pain makes that call, but it looks like Nanobots also happen to score all 4 of their points, so that is just an even 4-4 jam. But Petals get to have their blocker out of the box. They get to start with 4 on the track.
So it looks like Orbs coming back to our
Jam on Hawthorne jam line, skating against Patsy U. Both walls kind of filling in right on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line, real tight up against it.
Looks like our Petals tripod of
that is Pom Pom Fury, the Kraken, and Scarburst. But that tripod was no match for Orbs, who made quick lead.
Alice playing all ice in the back, playing offense for Patsy U to get out as quick as possible. Orbs getting out, Patsy coming up to the pack.
And that is a call coming from Orbs. Not before 1 point being scored by Patsy U, so it is a 4-1 jam, bringing our total score to 131 Rose Petals All-Stars and 130 Tomorrowland Nanobots.
1 point rolls. That is
1 point.
1 point.
1 point. This is a tight game, folks at home.
Very competitive. Very competitive.
Game.
So we are back with looks like Lunatrix against Yellow Jacket on our jammer line with Sour Patch Kid, Princess Leia, Pixie Piranha, and False Glitch blocking.
And it looks like Nanobots, we have Cherry Jam making that bump out.
And we actually have a Power Jam due to Lunatrix catching a forearm penalty. So that gives Yellow Jacket a Power Jam and catching lead.
And that is Yellow Jacket entering the pack, but splitting those blockers and moving right through very quickly with 4 points. We have the Nanobots kind of sitting at the back of that pack, maybe working their way towards the front with 606 Bitter Bunny, number 6, Tin Lizzie, and one other who is hanging out in that back. But that is no match for Yellow Jacket.
That is number 3.
Is that 113 Jawbreaker, who is also helping for the Nanobots, but that's False Glitch going to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box with a direction of gameplay. That is the 3rd direction of gameplay in this game for False Glitch.
Calling it off, getting only 3 of their points.
So that is going to be, what, an 11-point jam for
12.
They're holding up 12, but it looks like it's an 11-point jam for the Rose Petals All-Stars and Yellow Jacket, so that's 142.
Here we're watching our Radical Wheels replay of Yellow Jacket just going off on the inside line on their toe stops and catching lead.
So we have, looks like Satoru Gojo on the Hawthorne jam line going up against Mad Mo, and that's Gojo with a quick lead. Mad Mo pushing up against Beatrix Slaughter and Rotten Mango with a little bit of help and support from Demon Skater.
But it's a very fast pack moving around. Gojo returning to the pack just to get a small little bump from number 360 from Nanobots. That is Hex.
The whole bench looking for a call, but it looks like Mad Mo got a chance to bump into that pack, and that it's 3 points for Mad Mo. So that's going to be a 4-3 jam in favor of Rose Petals All-Stars. WSL Leadership Coaching. Learn how to transform interpersonal conflict into organizational justice at wslleadershipcoaching.com. Now, really, really close game. We have, looks like Candy Pain on the jam line for the Rose Petals and Orbs for the Nanobots.
Candy Pain going up, getting caught by the tripod from Nanobots. That is Toucan Slam, Harshmellow, Pop Rocks, and Jax.
But Orbs has lead jammer with Candy Pain about a third of a lap behind. Both jammers moving quickly. And
Orbs calling it off, making sure that Candy Pain gets no points.
Was that a call-off or was that an official call-off?
Look,
there looks like there's some confusion between everyone on that. And, you know, some confusion with the scoreboard as we're moving. You know,
it is a
timeout. So it is a welcome to PDX. Our timeout sponsor. This timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. I wonder what this timeout is about. It looks like everyone was really confused about what was happening. The call was made. Refs are talking to each other. The head ref is talking to each of the coaches.
The kids are dancing on the track, doing the Macarena down there.
They're too busy with the Macarena to understand what's happening with this timeout, but
they are having so much fun, and that's what matters. That is what Derby is for a lot of people. It's just a fun outlet, and they are having the time of their life down there.
And I will say, the Macarena, one of everyone's favorites on skates.
And everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it. It's classic.
But it does look like we have a new jammer in our mix. This is the first time we're seeing Kraken down there jamming.
And Nanobots is really sticking to what they know. So they have had this rotation. It's mostly been Lunatrix. It's mostly been Mad Mo, Orbs, a few Harshmellows in there. So, you know, we're really just...
and we are back from the official review. I mean, the official timeout.
I wonder what that was about, but I don't think we will ever know.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. You know, we're just up here on the mezzanine, and they're down there, and, you know, we're doing our best to give you all at home some good information.
So it looks like here's Bob the Fred, Pat CU, and Scarburst setting up on the inside tripod.
And it looks like that's number 6, Chin Lizzy, Jawbreaker. That is 606, Bitter Bunny, and Cherry Jam for those Nanobots blockers. But that is Lunatrix with a very quick lead.
Yeah, that tripod from Petals cannot hold Lunatrix for very long. Bob holding them with a chest block, Scarburst catching them at the top, but it does not stop Lunatrix from catching their 4 points.
Cherry Jam with a quick bump out and a drag back on the Kraken. The Kraken moving to that inside line, getting a bump down by 606 Bitter Bunny, but not out. Lunatrix slicing through that pack and scoring another 4 points on this jam.
Kraken just pushing at the back of the pack. There is all eyes trying to play offense. Doesn't seem like it's fully working.
A little bit of a bump on Bob the Fred, and Lunatrix is through with another 4 points, bringing to 12 on this jam.
We are only 1 point apart once again. And Kraken is out on their initial, but that doesn't stop Lunatrix from coming in, trying to catch her. And there we go. I believe we do have a lead change.
15 points for Lunatrix. Now, they came in kind of, you know, high with their contact. I was looking to see what was going to happen at the end of that jam, but they get those 3 points and they get it called. So, you know, Nanobots doing a really great job in this. Speaking of Nanobots, they're putting out 018 Mad Mo again out on that track versus 27 Sour Patch Skids on that Jam on Hawthorne jam line. Oh, and Mad Mo on that inside line and out with lead jammer.
Mad Mo is having probably one of their best games. They are doing so well going through those walls like they're not even trying.
And Skids is about a half a lap behind, but Mad Mo is engaging with that wall with, it looks like Yellow Jacket, Piranha Pixie, Demon Skater, Princess Leia.
Yep.
Makes a little bit of a bump. But No is getting called on a cut track penalty. We have 1:30 left in this jam, and Skids is now in a power jam. There is no lead jammer. We're going to go the rest of this 1:23 in this jam.
It also looks like number 360 Hex has gone to the box with a direction.
Rose Petals trying to set up some offense, trying to set up some moves. Looks like 805 count block yellow with an attempt at a block, but Skids, that's no match for Skids, who makes quick work.
Looks like they're clearing that inside for Skids to take very quickly and easily. Not even getting touched, Skids goes around and gets another 4 points. We have our Mad Mo standing in the penalty box and getting released back onto the track.
The Rose Petals make their tripod on that outside, but that ends up being a really great offensive screen, and Skids gets through very quickly, putting up another 4 points, making that 16 on this jam.
Mo getting caught up on Yellow Jacket and Princess Leia in the back of the pack with the assistance of Demon Skater.
Demon Skater tries to make one final bump, but that's Mad Mo getting out and scoring 4 points for the Nanobots.
We have another lead change again. We are back with the Petals.
And Skids puts up another 4 points with 20. Has some time left. If they make it fast, they can get a little bit more points on this jam.
They have 5 seconds. Do you think they're going to make it? 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, and a few more points. And that is a handful more points that are going to be put up for Skids.
3.
So that is 23 points for Sour Patch Skids and the Rose Petal All-Stars. I think that is the biggest jam of this game.
Yes, that is the highest scoring jam we've had so far this game. We're watching our Radical Wheels replay of Sour Patch Skid just going right through.
Making that little bump and then popping right through that top, scoring those points. 6 for the Nanobots in that jam. But we now have False Glitch and Harshmallow on the Jam on Hawthorne jam line, moving quickly up to the front.
Harshmallow collecting a cut track because they tapped their toe stop out of bounds while doing their little toe stop hop on the inside line.
And that is a lead for False Glitch and a power jam. Now, I would not want to be against False Glitch when they have a power jam. They're a quick skater.
They're very quick and very agile in their skates. They're a very good juker.
We have some offense from Beatrix Slaughter on the Nanobots pivot. Looks like that is 1-7 Orbs, who tries to get a little bit of a bump in there. And then a little bit of a bump from Toucan Slam. I heard a penalty whistle.
Does a little spinning jump and getting out. Toucan Slam trying to get up top. Ooh,
falls.
Both falling.
Harshmallow returning to the track while Pop Rocks on the Nanobots gets a multiplayer penalty. The Rose Petals tripod is formed on that.
Harshmallow looks like our Petals did not realize that Harshmallow got out of the box.
And, False Glitch still on that first scoring pass, calls it, has all 4 points.
Leaving Harshmallow at 0.
So that's 173 Rose Petals All-Stars, 154 for the Nanobots. We want to make sure that you should check out our RCR team merch at rosecityrollers.com/shop and order online so you can rep your favorite teams.
Did you see that we got new merch?
I saw there's some new merch for the junior skaters. It's got like a little pocket print in the front and something on the back. Super
Mia
cute.
Plow designed them.
Mia Plow, one of our adult home team skaters. And we have Leonard Skinner out quick with lead for Rose Petals All-Stars with Bitter Bunny getting caught up on that Rose Petals wall behind Pom Pom Fury, Screaming Death, a little bump from Candy Cane. Patsy U up at the front playing a little bit of offense, and bam, that is
simply
inside line. Leonard Skinner, 4 points just like that.
Leonard is very young, but also very fast and agile. Not even getting getting touched.
That is 4 points for Leonard Skinner, putting 8 up for that jam. But Bitter Bunny is out on their initial pass, and
that was a little bunny hop over that line and calling it off before the Nanobots could catch any points.
But it looks like Pat CU is headed to the penalty box for the Rose Petals All-Stars. We'll see. It looks like a direction of gameplay. And
watching that Radical Wheels replay, they're catching Candy Paint's hit out
and
onto
Leonard
their
Skinner's
jammer.
little inside line hit. We are going into a team timeout, which means it is a welcome to PDX timeout. That is RCR's official realtor.
It was a team timeout called by the Nanobots. We have the Petals having the time of their life. They're dancing. They're playing rock, paper, scissors.
I want to take this time to talk about sponsorship for RCR. So, interested in sponsoring RCR Rose City Rollers in 2025? You could have your mission-aligned brand integrated into our vibrant community of skaters, fans, and volunteers. The opportunities are truly endless. Go to www.rosecityrollers.com/our sponsors or email out to sponsorship@rosecityrollers.com to learn more. Oh, a little circle dance. That's so nice.
I remember doing that as a pedal.
I really, really wish I had the points in front of me because looks like we've had a bunch of big jams back to back to back to back for these Rose Petal All-Stars coming into this half. We have about 14 minutes left in the half. Returning from that team timeout, 185 Rose Petals All-Stars, 154 Nanobots. So the spread is starting to open up a little bit. Rose Petals are starting to pull ahead.
I don't know. Mad Mo is back out on that track. Mad Mo has had very large jams.
Mad Mo, I think, I mean, I don't have the numbers, but wow, Mad Mo with a lead on that outside. Mad Mo has been probably the highest point scorer for the Nanobots and has been real tough.
Oh, no, they got a cut track on that last one. It didn't look like one to me, but I'm not down there on the track.
Hey, you know, we're just up here in the mez trying to make the right calls. That is Yellow Jacket pushing on Harshmellow, spinning away, moving, bumping into Cherry Jam, bumping into Toucan Slam, trying to make work of that outside line. Rose Petals are trying to play a little bit of offense, but are having a little trouble catching some of these fast Nanobots blockers.
A lot of the Nanobots out there are very speedy people. Toucan Slam, after watching them play yesterday against our regional travel team, is very fast.
And that is Mad Mo back up from the penalty box, and Yellow Jacket still has not made an initial pass.
And that
decides to pass the cap to number 27, Sour Patch Skids. Skids had our highest scoring jam for Rose Petals in this game, so let's see if they can make some work. But that is Mad Mo out on their initial pass.
Skid pushing and pushing on, looks like 360 Hex.
Hex has been making some strong work in this game. Skids getting caught up on Toucan Slam with another bump out and force back. And we have Mo trying that outside line with a little hop, skip, and a jump, and out for 4 points. 28 seconds left in this jam, and Skids with the cap on now is jamming a little bit of offense from Yellow Jacket. That Rose Petals wall was not prepared for Mad Mo, who makes quick work at the inside line, ducking to the out and getting 4 points.
There is not even a tripod made for our Petals All-Stars out there.
All-Stars are focused on trying to get their jammer out and forget to
Looks
make
like
a wall.
313 getting an illegal contact. That is Toucan Slam heading to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box.
Toucan Slam might have just forgot this was a modified contact game for a second. Tossed a little bit of a bump in there. You know, fair enough. We all do it.
We have the Radical Wheels replay coming from the very beginning of Mad Mo, doing a
little bit of that cut track. You can see it there on the replay.
It's a little bit.
It's a little baby cut.
So we are starting the jam off with the Nanobots having one in the box. Orbs and Princess Leia at the line.
That is Orbs pushing up against Beatrix Slaughter, but moving up that outside line with Beatrix Slaughter getting that bump out. Demon Skater playing offense for Princess Leia up at that front tripod.
Scarburst going back to hit their number twin out there, number 17. And there goes Orbs making a run for it, catching lead jammer.
Princess Leia fighting against that wall, but popping out to the front.
About a half a lap behind.
Toucan Slam re-entering from the penalty box quickly, aggressively, ready to play a little bit of offense. You know, makes quick offense for Orbs on that back tripod.
Oh, as Orbs runs into their own skater.
3 points for the Nanobots, bringing the score to 185 Rose Petals All-Stars and 166 Tomorrowland Nanobots.
Again, still such a really close game. This is still anyone's game with 11 minutes left on the clock.
And here we have those penalty reads. So the only people who are in real trouble is 31 False Glitch with 4 penalties and 018 on the Nanobots. That is Mad Mo, both the top point scorer and also picking up some penalties. Lucille Brawl on the jam line for Rose Petals All-Stars, while Mad Mo is back out on the track for the Nanobots.
False Glitch catching Mad Mo up at the top with a good chest blocking, but Mad Mo is still out and catching lead jammer.
Lucille Brawl caught up on Harshmellow, who's really harshing her mellow in this moment. Sorry, can't help with the puns. Harshmellow joining Cherry Jam and Hex, and looks like number 6, Tin Lizzie, on that tripod with Lucille Brawl in the back, while Mad Mo is fighting up against Rotten Mango and Screaming Death up at the front.
Lucille thinking they made it out just to get caught in front of Harshmellow, and then the rest of their tripod came to help. Lucille Brawl trying to find holes on the outside.
But that is Mad Mo jumping little baby Zoom Room Apex jump on that inside line, getting 4 points. And Harshmellow is really harshing everyone's vibe on the track right now, capturing Lucille Brawl, really sticking on, while Mad Mo makes quick work of that inside line. A little bit of a slide through, another 4 points.
And that was a cap pass to False Glitch.
False Glitch about a half a lap behind Mad Mo, and now approaching the wall, bumping into Pom Pom Fury, taking that outside, bumping into Rotten Mango.
Ooh, I want to see a jump.
And calling the jam off. That is going to be another 2 points for the Nanobots, bringing their score to 10 on the jam and 0 for the Rose Petals All-Stars. So that is 185 Rose Petals All-Stars, 176 Tomorrowland Nanobots.
Looks like the Nanobots have their captain out there. That is, once again, Lunatrix jamming against Gojo.
On that Jam on Hawthorne jam line where everyone's kind of crowding up. Rose Petals tripod on that jam line. The Nanobots kind of spread out over the course, but that is quick work for Lunatrix, popping up to the top, but taking a stumble, letting Gojo get lead, while Lunatrix is stuck on that group of Petals, making contact with Candy Pane.
Candy Pane holding on.
But that's going to be a high block for Lunatrix. Ooh. And Gojo is now on a power jam. So Candy Pane doing a good job of blocking, staying in front, capturing up that jammer, and now Candy Pane's going to go and make some offense too, joined by Patsy Yu and Gojo, who's trying the inside
big
line.
Hit on Bitter Bunny hitting Gojo, causing them to go out, but that doesn't stop all ice from hitting Bitter Bunny, so Gojo can come back in.
A small pile up in the back on that jam line, and we have Lunatrix standing in the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box. Ref joining the mix. We have a little bit of a ref stumble, but Gojo, quick work on the inside line and a call. Really smart move. Make that call before anyone else can get involved in the mix. 12 points for Rose Petals All-Stars, 0 for the Nanobots, bringing us to 197 Rose Petals All-Stars, 176 Tomorrowland Nanobots. I just want to mention the Roller Junior Derby Summer Camp registration is now open. We have 6 weeks of summer camp for ages 7 to 18, all skill levels. Go to rosecityrollers.com to register for summer camp. And if you do, you might be coached by me. Just letting you know.
And counselored by me.
Counselored by Pop-Tart. All right, we got Scarburst on the line for the Rose Petals All-Stars and Count Blockula, I think for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to mention.
For the Nanobots.
This is the first time we're seeing Count Blockula out there.
Count Blockula getting caught up by Yellow Jacket and Leonard Skinner. Skids joining the mix, while Scarburst getting a little bit of a run back and is heading to that outside line to get a bump by 360 Hex.
Hex hitting out Scarburst, but Scarburst coming back in, not afraid to take that outside line, barely getting missed by Cherry Jam. Toucan Slam holding Scarburst down.
That is a tough Nanobots wall. Those are all names we've been saying all game because they've been doing such a great job. That is a penalty on Toucan Slam. Did not see what that was. We'll see on the penalty board in a minute.
Back block.
A back block from Toucan Slam, sending them to the Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box, leaving Nanobots down a blocker.
Leonard trying to play offense for her jammer.
But that is Count Blackula pushing those that rose petal wall up to the front, but nope, it is the wall shut down by Yellow Jacket, who runs Count Blackula back. I heard a
cut track
Ooh.
on their jammer. This is another power jam for the Rose Petals All-Stars. This is not what the nanobots need.
It is really not. And we have Scarburst finally getting lead over a minute 30 into the jam. Getting told to call it by their bench, and they do. Icing that Count Blackula in that Rebel Heart Therapy penalty box. Does not feel fun.
That is a team timeout called by Purple, our Rose Petals All-Stars.
Our timeout is brought to you by RCR's official realtor. Welcome to PDX. I'm going to take this time to talk about our upcoming junior games. So if you are not aware, on Saturday, April 19th, you can watch the RCR Junior Rosebuds All-Stars go head-to-head in the Roses versus Buds game, live streamed on our YouTube channel. It's like a fun game. It's a fundraiser game for the team. Basically, the team just gets to play each other.
Yeah, it's the mixture of our national travel team that gets to travel the country, and then our regional travel team that stays over here on the side.
So it's really nice to have everyone kind of mixed up, all playing together. So if you want to see some good, fun teammate on teammate gameplay, make sure you get your tickets or tune in on April 19th.
It's actually a fundraiser game to try to raise money for our national team to have the money to go off to regionals and hopefully nationals, because they are second in the country currently.
Want to send those national skaters off to Texas. That is where they're going to be playing for regionals this year. So, we're coming back from that timeout. Looks like we have Beatrix Slaughter as the only jammer on the Jam on Hawthorne jam line, while the rest of the blockers from both teams are up on that pivot line.
I never fully understood clumping up at the top of the line, because that just gives the jammer extra time to run.
I mean, it works for Beatrix Slaughter, who only bumped into Harshmallow before getting lead jammer, and that pack is moving fast. There are lots of whistles. There's lots of things happening.
But nobody's moving to the box.
And
so
Beatrix Slaughter does a little bit of a Zoom Room Apex. So we haven't had a real one. It was a little baby one. And that is Count Blackula out from the box and out on their initial pass with Lucille Brawl, looks like going to the penalty box for the Rose Petals on forearm, perhaps. Beatrix Slaughter, another 4 points, and that call off. Quick jam. 8-0 in favor of the Rose Petals All-Stars, 205 Rose Petals, 176 Nanobots.
We're watching our Radical Wheels replay of Beatrix just going and not even getting touched.
Wow. Impressive. We have Rose Petals are going to be down a blocker in the box, but we have Bob the Fred for the Rose Petals All-Stars jamming against Orbs for the Nanobots.
Looks like the Kraken setting up, trying to play offense, leaving just a 2-wall up there to block Orbs.
Some jammer on jammer pushing, but that is Bob the Fred moving to the front of the pack.
Our captain, Rotten Mango, doing a force out and pull back on the Nanobots jammer Orbs.
Orbs squeezing up that inside line and getting lead.
Lucille Brawl is rejoining the track, trying to see if they can help Bob.
Bob kind of side surfing around those players up the top, going up against Toucan Slam, but squeezing out for their initial pass as Orbs is approaching the pack, bumping into Lucille Brawl, bumping into Rotten Mango, and inside line, calling it 4 points.
That was a really good offense from Toucan Slam, getting Orbs out just immediately before the Rose Petals jammer could get back around to score points.
888, the exclusive protective gear sponsor of RCR, the Certified Sweat Saver, developed, tested, and trusted by the best. Sweat Saver helmet. I think all of us wear them now.
Yeah, we. I don't know about the Petals, but I know the Buds
and the
travel teams are
and all the
sponsored.
adult teams wear them.
Looks like we have a clear Rebel Heart Therapy box.
But that is Yellow Jacket getting lead quickly, followed by Mad Mo, who is about a third of a lap behind. Yellow Jacket speeding around that track, moving quickly. Rose Petal setting up in the back, and Yellow Jacket approaching, slowing themselves. moving to the inside line. Quick 4 points.
Maybe
Well,
just a slight tap.
just a slight tap from some of those nanobots. They're working hard. It looks like that call off was not quite quick enough for Yellow Jackets, so there's a 4-4 jam for both teams, leaving the differential the same, but putting our points at 209 Rose Petals All-Stars, 184 for the Tomorrowland Nanobots.
We're watching the Radical Wheels replay as Yellow Jacket just side surfs right on the outside line while Mad Mo comes out right behind them as we welcome Candy Pane and Orbs back to the jam line.
That jam on Hawthorne jam line, and Candy Pane squeezing between those two nanobots blockers, but that is Orbs getting lead, popping out to the front. Candy Pane being recycled by Toucan Slam.
Candy Pane just weaving through the nanobots blockers.
Getting bump after bump, but now getting out on the initial, while Orbs is approaching that pack on their first scoring pass. Passing Starburst, passing all of the blockers on that outside, and a quick
calling
call.
it off. Candy Pane not being able to get back to the pack in time.
That's a quick 4 and call it, bringing our score to 209 to 188.
Are they sending Can out multiple times in a row?
I think at this point, Can has been in almost every jam for the last 10 minutes.
Yes.
I have also noticed that. 187 killer pads worn by the most pros in the world. If you skate, you know why. That's for all of you at home. You know why. We got 911 Demon Skater on the jam on Hawthorne jam line, going up against 606 Bitter Bunny. That is 606 pushing up against Beatrix Slaughter and Pom Pom Fury, moving to the outside while
Bitter Bunny running out just to get caught by Beatrix once again and getting a force out.
Demon Skater moved to the front of the pack now, going up against, looks like Harshmallow and Toucan Slam. That Nanobots tripod forming back together.
And their captain,
Lunatrix. That Rose Petals wall is now up at the front. I heard a penalty whistle, but that is 606 Bitter Bunny getting out as lead. We have 38 seconds left in this period, 1 minute and 21 seconds left in this jam.
That whistle was called on Purple 15, Princess Leia, on, it looks like
a pack penalty. Some sort of destruction, something. But that is Toucan Slam on a scoring pass, engaging in the Rose Petals tripod. In the back, that is Pom Pom Fury, Lucille Brawl, and Beatrix Slaughter pushing up against all of them.
It looks like an illegal position, actually, on Princess Leia. I'm guessing probably an out-of-play block.
Bitter Bunny just picked up a cut track penalty, leaving this to be a full 2-minute jam, last jam of the game, 48 seconds left, while Demon Skater out on their initial pass.
This is officially the last jam of this game.
So let's see if Rose Petals can score some points. They are moving quickly out of turn 4 and into this close straightaway, trying to make up some offense, moving quickly. Looks like Beatrix leading the charge with Lucille Brawl trying to go one-on-one with, looks like Pop Rocks. Moving quickly. This pack is speedy, but Demon Skater is getting caught by Harshmallow, who is harshing her mellow. Moving up to the front of the pack, squeezing through. That is Demon Skater bumping against Toucan Slam. While
big hit by Beatrix and the pullback.
That is out of play in the back, and that is going to be a penalty for Beatrix Slaughter.
An illegal contact.
That is the end of our game. That is 4 points for each wall. That is 213 points for the Rose Petals All-Stars, 192 for the Tomorrowland Nanobots. That is the unofficial score. We're going to wait for them to tidy everything up.
And there is Gojo dancing.
Everyone is celebrating on the Rose Petals side. Everyone worked really hard. This game was close the whole time. Wow, that was an exciting one. And that is going to be our final score.
And here comes all of the people watching, getting ready to give our Rose Petals All-Stars high fives.
This game, really good game. Just really great play from both sides. Rose Petals really excited going for their victory lap. And I just want to shout out there for the Tomorrowland Nanobots, Mad Mo really putting in the work, Lunatrix really putting in the work. We saw a lot of Hex, we saw a lot of Bitter Bunny, all great skaters on the Tomorrowland Nanobots. And the Petals, so many of them got to jam, so many of them got to score points, really spreading out the love between all of them. And look at Tomorrowland taking their victory lap, all smiles. It is nice to see them having fun, no matter what the score is. All right. Well, I have been Rosemary's Baby.
And I have been Pop-Tart.
And
Hey folks, did you know that your head is not normal? No one's is. If your helmet size is a small, but your teammate's size is an extra large, wearing the same helmet shell doesn't just look kind of funny. The functionality of the EPS foam and how it disperses impact energy is compromised. The 888 certified sweat saver comes in better shell size options than our leading competitor, giving you the highest level of protection upon impact. Try it for yourself. We've got you.